Hello everyone, welcome to Intelle Learn, your ultimate source for learning. Our today's topic is going to be functions in C programming. Let's start it right now itself. So, functions in C programming. So, the main important part of function is the definition, syntax, and its example. So, let's understand what is actually a function and what's the definition of the function. So, the definition is in C programming, a function is a block of code that performs a specific task. Functions are a fundamental concept in C as they allow you to modularize code and reuse it efficiently, that is effectively as well. So in C programming, a function is a block of code. As we have used functions all around the time we have done coding, for example, which is nothing but integer main function. So integer main function is nothing but it is a block of code which performs a specific task. The specific task is nothing but the code which we give to that function so that it can perform the execution of the program. So this is the definition. A function is a block of code that performs a specific task. So there are two types of functions in C programming. First one is standard library function and second one is user defined function. So standard library functions are the built-in functions in C programming which are provided by C programming language itself. Okay, so examples are printf function, scanf function, malloc function, etc. So there are many and many built-in functions in C programming in which we don't need to write the code of that function. We just need to use it, we just need to call it. So before using these functions, what we need to do? First, we need to include its header files. After including its header files, then we can call the functions, that is printf and scanf. As printf and scanf functions are inside the header file named as stdio.h, full form is nothing but standard input output.header file. So it consists of two functions, output function and input function. Output function is nothing but the printf function which is used in C programming. Printf function is used to display the output on the output screen. Second one is input function. Scanf is the input function used in C programming. It is used to take the input from the user and store it inside the variable. Next one is user defined functions. So what is a user defined function in C programming? This is the main topic which we are going to do right now. We are going through it because standard library functions are the functions which are already created and stored inside a header file. What do you mean by user defined functions? User is nothing but the programmer itself. Defined is nothing but we are going to create a function. So in simple words, user defined function is nothing but a function which is created by a programmer itself is known as a user defined function. So definition is in front of you. Function that are written by the programmer to perform specific tasks. So let's see the structure of the function. So the structure of the function is in front of you. So what is the syntax? We call it as the syntax of the function. Syntax of the function is return type followed by the function name, open parenthesis, parameters. So parameters are nothing but the requirements of the functions. Requirements, if you don't give the values to the function will not get executed. So parameters are nothing but requirements of the functions which the user needs to fulfill. And then comes the function body, which is nothing but where you write the code which is going to be executed. And last one is nothing but return value. So return keyword is used to return the value from the function towards the main function. So what is this process? I am going to let you know in this topic right now. So let's get started with the practical. So let's begin. I have turned on the compiler. So let's do one thing. First, I will write the syntax of the function. So what is the syntax? Syntax is nothing but return type function name open parenthesis parameters. So there can be more than one parameter, open curly braces, inside which we gonna write our code, and then close curly braces. So let's perform it with a simple example. Let's say we have to create a function which will display good morning on the screen. So for that, we are going to create a user defined function. Let's name that function as greet. Name of the function is greet function. Its task is to display good morning on the screen. So what is the syntax to create the function? First one is return type. So in return type, I am going to use void, as void return type is used to have no return type. So what does it mean by that? Void means when a function is completely executed, it will not return any value to the main function. So the main part of this function is to display the outputs on the screen. So that's the main part. So right now my main task is to display good morning on the screen. So I am going to create a function named greet. So it is not performing any processing things like calculative, means calculation parts. So first one, now I'm going to create it. Name of the function is greet function, open close parenthesis. We are not going to give any parameters because this function does not require any parameters so that the good morning can be printed. So followed by the curly braces. So inside this we are going to write the code. So what is the definition of the function? So it will be cleared here. This is a function. So what was the definition? A function is a block of code. So block of code is nothing but within the curly braces, whatever you write is nothing but a block of code. So you can think of it like within curly braces, the code which you write is nothing but a block of code. So a function is a block of code which is used to perform specific task. So I have created a function name greet function, right? So name of my function is greet function. So greet function consists of a block of code, right? It consists a block of code which performs a specific task. So what is the task performed by the greet function? It is nothing but to display good morning on the screen. So this whole process is known as function definition. Function definition is nothing but the whole function which is created here. Function is always created outside the main function, so it's necessary it must be written above the main function itself. If you don't write the function above the main function, you can write it below as well, like this. When you write it below the main function, all you need to do is you need to declare the function first, then you can write the function definition after the main function. So we need to declare the function above the main function. So this is known as function declaration. What is function declaration? Let's say if you are writing your function code afterwards or in future, so what you can do is you can declare the function itself at the top. Afterwards you can create your integer main function. Afterwards you can create that void greet function in future. That is nothing but the function definition code itself. So if you are going to write the code in future, you can do function declaration first, and afterwards you can write the function definition code later on. So this is the syntax of function declaration, where we have first declared the greet function. So what is the main task of greet function. The main task of greet function is to display good morning on the screen. So when I execute the code, what will happen? The code will be executed successfully. But wait a minute, what has happened here? Greet function has been created successfully, but it has not been executed. What is the reason behind it? It is because first we need to call the greet function. So how do we do that? So the main point, the main important thing to remember is nothing but the main function. Integer main function is the first function which is going to be executed in C programming itself. So when whether you write 20 user defined functions or 30 user defined functions itself, the first function which will be executed is nothing but your integer main function. Now let's say I have written here hello. When I execute the code, hello will be displayed on the screen because integer main function is going to be executed. So what we have to do? We want to execute the greet function. What we want to do is nothing but we want to execute the greet function. For that, we need to call the function inside the main function. So how can we do it? Simply, we need to use function call syntax. So what is the syntax of the function call? It is nothing but function name, open close parenthesis, semicolon. This is the syntax of a function call. So function call is used to call a function inside the main function or the other functions as well. When I execute this code, greet function has been executed inside the main function. When greet function will be executed, when the greet function will be called inside the main function, that's the main part of a function. First one is, if you want to declare a function, we will write the syntax void greet. Or what is the syntax of a function declaration? It is nothing but return type function name open parenthesis followed by parameters close and semicolon. Then the function definition. Function definition is nothing but the function itself, the whole code within itself. And when you want to call that function, we will use the syntax of the function call, which is nothing but function name itself. So this is all about a user defined function. User defined function is a block of code. So you got about it. It is a block of code which is used to perform specific tasks. Okay, so let's move on towards the next part. So you got to know about structure of a function. So this syntax is nothing but it is the syntax of a function definition. So there are three syntaxes which we use in C programming for a function. First one is function declaration. If you are going to write a function code in future, what we can do is first we can write function declaration, afterwards we can write the code after the main function. Second one is the function definition itself, the code which is in front of you, the syntax. And third one is the function call. When you want to call the function, we can simply use function call statement. So what are the components of a function? So components means what are the things which we use inside a function. So first one is return type. So return type is nothing but after the function is completed, which type of value the function is going to give is defined by the return type itself. As we mentioned, as we have done right now a little bit behind, void. Void is nothing but a return type. It means that when a function is completed, it will not give any value, it will not return any value to the main function. So we can simply call that function because it is not going to give any value to the main function itself. So there are many return types. So main return types which we use in C programming are integer, float, double. So these are the return types which we use. So in the further example you are getting to know what is going to happen there. Next one is function name. As you already know, when you declare a function, you need to write its name. So you can give a function name that can be anything, but the function name must be unique, it must be understood. So name of the function which we gave was greet function. Greet means good morning, means greetings. That's why we gave the name of the function as greet function. Next one is the parameters, which is optional. So in the example we didn't give any parameters. So as we know about parameters, what is the definition of a parameters? Parameter is the requirement of the function. Requirement means the values which a function needs is nothing but the parameter. So these are the inputs to the function, which is nothing but requirements. They are passed in the parenthesis after the function name. Next one is function body. Function body is nothing but a block of code in which you are going to write the code which is going to be executed. Last one is return statement. Return statement is also optional. Whether, let's say, if you write void as a return type, then void keyword is used because return type is not there, means we are not going to return a value, so return keyword is not written. But when you write integer as the return type, you need to write return keyword itself. So let's watch the example so that you will get to know what I'm trying to say is. So this is the example of a simple function using a return type is. So what is happening here? First, we have declared a function. Name of the function is add function, which consists of two parameters, which is nothing but a and b of data type integer. Return type of the function is integer. So what do you mean by this? It is nothing but after the function code is completed, it is going to return a value which is of data type integer. Okay, so first we have declared the function which is add function. So the code is in front of you. Integer add, this is the function definition where we have created the function. What is the task? What is the task of that function? Addition function is used to return the addition value of the two variables, that is a and b. So first one is the parameters. If we give the value to that function, then it will return the addition of those two numbers. So for that, what we need to do is during function call, we are going to pass the values which is in front of you, 5 and 3. So this is the function call part. 5 value is passed inside the parameter a, 3 value is passed inside the parameter b. 5 value, okay, while passing the values to the function definition, during the function call process, means function call process, when we pass the value, those values are known as arguments. What is the definition of an argument? Argument are the values passed to the parameters of the function. Arguments are the values which are passed to the parameters of the function. And what is a parameter? Parameter is the requirement of the function. If we don't pass any value to the function definition, it is not going to be executed. It will give us an error. So we have passed 5 and 3 value. So what will happen? 5 and 3 value will be stored inside variable a and b, means function call has taken place, means the function has been executed. What will it return? It will return the addition of these two values. So 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. The value will be passed again to the main function at this position itself. So 8 value has come here. Afterwards, it will be stored inside result variable. Remember one thing, when a function is going to return a value, you must always call that function inside a variable. I will repeat it once more. When a function is going to return a value, what will happen? It is going to return a value. It means that it needs to be stored somewhere. So what we have to do is we need to create a variable. Inside that variable we must call that function. So what is happening here? 5 plus 3, 8 value is passed here, and then it is stored inside result variable, and afterwards with the help of the printf function, which is the output function used in C programming, we have displayed the result on the screen. So this is the use of a function, which is nothing but user defined function in C programming. It is used to execute a block of code which performs specific tasks. So we can create as many functions as we want. The main thing is the logic, which type of function you can create which will become an easiness for the programmer to use it. For example, let's say I want to create a function named area of square. So area of square function can be used to calculate the area of circle and display on the screen. So there are many functions which we can create and we can execute. Functions are the important parts in C programming, is the important topic in C programming, as this topic is further again repeated in C++, Java and Python. So it's very much necessary to get this first in C programming itself, do it perfectly so that it won't be hard in C++, Java and Python. So let's move on. So what are the key concepts? Key concepts is nothing but the syntax itself. So first one was function declaration, as we know. Next one was function definition, and last one is function call, which we have already covered in the examples. So these are the key concepts which we must not forget, which is the most important part. So example with different return types, this is also completed, where first is returning integer. It means that the return type of the function is the integer, and second one is void, which is nothing but no return type. So we have written void, it is not going to return any value, but int is going to return a value. That's why we have written return keyword. So these are the topics which we are going to cover in C++. So these are the topics which are important in C++, which will be covered. Advantages of functions, it is modular. So as you know about modularity, it breaks code into smaller manageable pieces. Okay, if we create multiple functions which can perform specific tasks, all you need to do is we just need to call that function. That's it. Reusability, once a function is created, you can reuse that code again and again by just simply calling it. Maintainability, easier to debug and maintain code with smaller chunks. Easier to debug means when an error occurs in the function, you can easily identify in which function the error has came. So that is nothing but maintainability. So that's it for today about functions. If you have any doubts related to it, you can comment down in the comment section as well. Please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. So in further videos, we are going to go more deep about C programming language and other programming language concepts as well. So don't forget and make sure to study hard, okay? Because the main part in programming is the more you try to find out the things, the more you get deeper. It means that once you start a coding, you can create anything. Programming is nothing but coding itself is nothing but creation. You can create whatever you want. So the main thing is the logic what you want to create, and for that you need to learn about programming language, and you need to understand the programming language itself. So thank you for watching. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. I will let you know about it. Thank you.